Hello everyone and welcome to my Facebook Live. Today is Thursday, July 23rd, 2026, and we're going to play with the brand new hot foil system from Stampin' Up. I'm going to put this over here. I turned it on just a few minutes before. Hang on, let me get its cord. A few minutes before I started, so you can see it is still warming up. The first time it takes about 6 minutes, so that's why I turned it on a little bit ahead of time. And you do have a protective thing there to protect your surface while it's heating up, So I just wanted you to see what it looked like when it was heating up. I'm going to go share this with my page, and then I'll be right back to tell you everything you get with this. All right. I have so many things around me. Hopefully nothing goes crashing down. All right. And if you're new to my Facebook Live, I do this live almost every Thursday. Last week I was out of town, so I was not able to be with you live, but I was able to record a video, so you still got to see something. And then what I make this week, I give away next week. So last week my card was this one, so I'll tell you who won that. But I also forgot to draw for the one the week before, so I'll tell you who won both of those at the end. All right, almost there. Let's get this copied over. Come on. All right, still warming up. When that's flashing, it means it's not ready. Okay, now let's get back to where we were on my laptop, just in case I need to look. Now I should have, let me go do that right now. When I checked Monday, I think it was, when I was getting ready to post stuff for this week on Facebook, this system was still available. So let me just go verify. I know it's sold out in Australia already. Yes, it is. It's still available. So this hot foil system is still available here. And I know a couple of the die sets have sold out, one of which I have. I'll show you. The other one I hadn't purchased yet, so I'll have to wait on that. But let me tell you what you get first with the hot foil system. So you get this machine, and then, like I said, you get a protective pad that you can put it in. I'm trying to make sure. I can put that there. Hang on. There we go. So it's not pulling so much on that. Instructions. This is a tool to pick up dies. You'll see that in a minute. So it's magnetic, and then you press this and it releases them. These are the two plates that you use when you're running them through the cut and emboss machine. So you've got a clear one, and then your, what do they call this? Hot foil shim, and then hot foil spacer. So you get both of those. And then this is another protective thing that you can put the hot dies on once you're done with them. So you get all of that in the hot foil system. Hang on, I'm just moving some stuff around over here. And let me show you, and the other thing, so there then are a couple of things that you will need to buy in addition to that. You will need some foil. Right now, Stampin' Up! Has 3 colors, gold, silver, and pink. I've used all of them. We're using pink today. This was the first time I'd used the pink. I'm sure they will be coming out with more. This is what they have available right now. And then there are several different, they have quite a few really, sets that you can get. So this is one of the ones, and this one is one of the ones that has sold out. Garden Silhouette hot foil, and it's a background one. Let me just show you. I made one card with it, with the gold foil. Isn't that beautiful? So that one is not available at the moment, but it will come back. Now, they did say the hot foil system, when it sells out, it will not be available again until the end of the year. So if you're interested in this, I wouldn't delay because you might not be able to get it. All right, this is another one. This is just a set of hot foil dies and regular dies. So you'll notice these ones are a different color. Those are the hot foil dies. And when I do this, you can see the difference. And then these are the regular dies that cut out what you foiled. So it'll cut out the whole alphabet at once and all the numbers at once. Or you can just hot foil. I think it was Erica from Pink Buckaroo Designs, just foiled this and kind of fussy cut around it and used that just by itself, and it was really cute. And then the last one, oh, did you hear it beep? So now this is flashing. That means it's ready. So let me show you one more thing and then we'll get started. This is the other one that I bought. So this is a set of stamps and this is a set of hot foil dies. And then you can just mix and match them and make fun stuff. I haven't used this one yet. I am excited to do that, but I haven't yet. And then the one we're using today is this. Let me take these off. That's what I use when I ink and die cut. Put those over there. Butterfly Flight. And so again, you can see these are a different color. That's the hot foil piece. These are the regular dies. This one is a bundle with masks. So you have masks. And I'm using my glass mat today because of what we're going to do with these masks. So you can kind of see them. And then this one, if you're foiling it, you really don't need to worry about doing the bodies. Okay, so let's get busy. Let me grab all my pieces. Now, they tell you, and it's true, you can use this foil on our regular cardstock or the two-toned. And I will tell you, this, I don't know if you'll be able to tell. It's really hard to tell. This is on White Willow. That's what we're using today, which is a two-tone cardstock. And so the images to me are a little sharper. This one is just on our soft sea foam. And you probably won't be able to see, but there's a little bit of, it's just not quite as sharp. It still looks beautiful. There's no reason you can't use that, but it is a little bit of a sharper image with the two-tone cardstock. So that's why I decided to use the White Willow, just to see, since they had told us that. All right, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to get out, and you can tell by looking at them, these are duller. Those are the hot foil ones. So we're going to put them down on our hot surface, face up, and we're going to press this button. Now it's going to heat up some more and get that foil, that die ready. I have my pink hot foil ready and my cardstock, my White Willow cardstock ready. And then we need our two mats. So our spacer and our shim. I'm just going to set them behind me for a moment. And this doesn't take as long. And it tells you, and I have to look at it often in here, exactly what to do. So it beeps. We've done that. So we put our die on there and press that button. We've done that. And now it says approximately 1.5 minutes. So that stays lit. This flashes. And when it's ready, it will beep again and the green light will turn on. So that's where we are right now in the instructions. And then we'll be ready for step number 5. And it's really not hard. And as I said, after you warm it up the first time, like we'll unplug this to put it through the die cut machine. But then when you plug it back in, it won't take another 6 seconds for it to warm up and be ready for the next session. I won't do that today because I'm only doing one set. But if you were doing multiples, then, you know, it wouldn't take as long to warm up the second time. And I can't wait to see what other colors of foil they have. Okay, do you hear it? It beeped. Now it's green. So put your foil shiny side down on top of your die. And then put your cardstock on top of that. And then unplug it. And I try and always make sure I unplug it from there. It's magnetic. Oh, this one. There we go. And try not to move everything around. All right, now I need to bring over my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So you're going to put this whole thing on there. And I probably should have put these on before I brought it over, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. You're going to put your shim and your plate spacer on there. And then you're going to run the whole thing through. And whereas when you're die cutting, you can run it through as fast as you want. This one, they say run through slowly. So it gives it a chance for that hot foil to transfer. Because usually when I'm die cutting, I'm whizzing them through. I usually have a bunch to do. All right, and do not run it back through. And you can pick it up. I mean, it's not so hot I can't pick it up. So let's get this back out of the way. We're done with that for the moment. Take off our spacer and our, oh here, let me show you this first. All right, we'll put him back on here. He's on glass, but. All right, here's our little tray for our hot dyes. So this is our metallic. There you go. So that's just a way to pick them up. You can set this aside somewhere till it's cool. All right, I'm going to set this aside also because now we have other things to do. Okay. But let's see what we have now. So now you just pull this off. And look at that. Look at those beautiful pink butterflies. Pink foil butterflies. Oh my goodness. Now, several people I've seen on Facebook have shown how you can use this and transfer the rest of that foil to another piece. So I've been saving all of mine. I haven't tried that yet, but I will, because I've been saving all of those. Okay, now that's all of the hot foil. So now we have our hot foil, and it's so pretty. I just love it. But now we're ready to do this one. Like I said, came with masks. And this is why I'm using my glass mat here. Let me make sure I have it where you can see it. So I'm going to use some Post-it note tape and tape my paper down. And then I have this is an old, we used to have these markers. This is the basic black. So I'm going to line this up where it looks like, whoop, not up there. Where I've got all the pieces lined up right. And then I'm going to tape it down. Whoops. And then I'm going to take, and there's a little notch in the top here. And I'm going to just draw my glass mat with this marker, because that wipes off very easily. All right, and this, I've started with mask number 1. So I'm going to start with my lightest color. This is Darling Duckling. And I have Contraband blending brushes that my friend Patience gave me. Now we're just going to use these today because they're already the colors I wanted. So just take and just go all over. So we're just going to be layering different colors on here. And it's going to just turn out beautiful. So if you've been crafting with me for a while, you know I love butterflies. So you can bet this was the first hot foil bundle I purchased. All right, so now we have our Darling Duckling. So I'll put that away. Now, I did not put any sentiments on this card. I just decided that I would leave it blank and you could put a sentiment on the inside easily. All right, so we're going to take this off. See, we've got that yellow there. And this I'm just going to set aside. All I do when I'm done using these is I take them to the sink and run water on them, and that washes right off. So I'm going to set it somewhere else so it doesn't get ink everywhere else. So now you have, it may be hard for you to see, but there's a little notch up here. So I'll start there, and I still look and make sure that it looks right. But that notch just kind of helps you get started. Tape that on. And it doesn't matter if these butterflies are straight or not because we're going to die cut them. So, and it doesn't matter even if we weren't die cutting them because butterflies fly all directions. All right, so this is, I forgot to show you, it's Timid Tiger. We're just going to put it all over. And I've been doing these ones a little darker than I might normally do, just because I wanted the rich colors. All right, one more. And what's nice is you do all of this at once. Oh, I missed some right there, it looks like. Those little lines. That could be a little darker. All right, that looks pretty good. So that was our Timid Tiger. And I'm putting the brushes back in their plastic just so I don't get ink everywhere. Oh, looking pretty, looking pretty. All right, let's set that out of the way. All right, then our last one is the most detailed one. So again, I'll kind of line it up on that notch. And then I'll look and make sure it looks like it's lined up. That looks good. And so the colors I'm using, this is Strawberry Slush. These are some of the in colors that, this is their last year. So they're the 2025 to 2027 in colors. But I thought they worked well together. And so bright and pretty. And so you're going over some of those other colors. That's okay. It's going to look beautiful when we're done. And I'm still holding this. I would certainly hate for it to slip, and then my butterflies might look a little deformed or something. Right. All right, let's see. How does that look? That looks pretty good. Put my brush away so I don't get ink everywhere. All right. Now let's see what we created. Oh my goodness, aren't those beautiful? I keep my Post-it note tape for a couple of times. Let me pull it up so you can see a little better. And I mean, the color combinations are endless. But that is just so beautiful. Like the card I showed you earlier that I made with these. Where did it go? I don't think I wrote down. I think I used Soft Sea Foam, Pretty Peacock, and maybe Lost Lagoon, if I remember right. So 2 totally different color palettes, but both beautiful. All right, now I am going to move this just off over here to a shelf just so I don't bump it or something. Now we're going to get our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine back, but this time we're just going to do normal die cutting. So this is the other piece, and there are other dies. So if I wanted to die cut some bodies or some extra butterflies or leaves, like on this one, I did do some of the leaves I die cut in Pretty Peacock and vellum and put them on there. But I'm not doing that today. Oop. I got stuck. Now we have just our regular die. This is like just our regular dies that we have. So we need our regular plates for this. So we'll just line this up, and I love that you color them all at the same time. You cut them out all at the same time. And I am going to use a Post-it note tape just to be sure it doesn't slip. All right, get our top plate and then run it through. And this one you can run through normally, like as fast as you want. Okay. Now we're done with that machine. Hey, Jackie, I've been so busy crafting, I didn't even notice who was coming on to watch. All right. Now we have all these beautiful butterflies. Let me get them up off of our plate here. one doesn't want to come off. There it goes. All right, get this out of the way. I will have a mess to clean up today when I'm done. All right, now we have all these gorgeous, gorgeous butterflies. They're so pretty. And we're ready to make our card. So let me get the other stuff. Now the paper I used, this is Strawberry Slush, just like one of the colors we used there. But this black and white designer series paper is, I've used this a lot. This is Beautiful Ordinary Life, and it has beautiful colors in it, but then the other side of all the papers is black and white. So it's a very versatile set of paper. As you can tell, it's well used. And then I did do a little bit of embossing. It might be hard to see on that black. There you can kind of see, there you go. And that is the Lazy Daisy 3D embossing folder. And I found, as I was putting it on my DSP, that this folder, sometimes they'll kind of shrink, you know, because the embossing makes it shrink up a little bit. And this is one of them that did. So if you're doing something like this, I would cut it a little bit longer. So I just cut it to 5 1/4. I would probably go ahead and cut it to, I don't know, 5 3/8, 5 1/2. And you can trim off anything that's extra. So you can see it doesn't quite meet. It should go to the edges, and it doesn't because of the embossing's pulled it up. And I like to use my liquid glue when I'm doing embossed paper. Just gets in those crevices better. All right, now let's, what happened to my white piece? There it is. It got left behind. I have just a piece of basic white for the inside. All right, so we can put this on here. That's a pretty side too, but that's not what we're using today. And then this is just a piece of basic white I'm going to put on the inside, so you could put a sentiment in here. Again, I didn't put anything on here. I wasn't sure what I would want to use this card for, so I just left it blank so I could add a sentiment later. And there is, I don't have it yet, but there is a set, a hot foil set that foils like a whole bunch of small sentiments all at one time, and I do want to get that, but I just haven't purchased that yet. I can't buy it all at once as much as I would like to. So I'm just going to put these 3 biggest butterflies just here, and then we'll grab dimensionals. And I'm just going to put them in the middle. Leave the wings free. This one you can, should put that down just a little bit. Oh well. So I'll start with the middle one. And you could curl the wings up a little bit if you wanted to. And then these guys, I just put one in the middle of them on their bodies. Oh, they're so pretty. It just makes me want to try all sorts of different combinations of colors. And then I decided I didn't want these 2 to go to waste, but I didn't really want to crowd this with more. So I just put them on the inside. I'm just going to use a little bit of my liquid glue for them. So they have a nice surprise when they open up the inside of the card. I just stuck my finger right in that glue. Okay. And then, of course, even though it's very shiny with all the foil, you still want to have a little bit of bling. And so I thought these, let me grab them out of the plastic first. They are the Sunset Sparkle sequins. They go with that Sunset Coast, I think it is, suite. But I thought these orange ones were perfect with this. So I just added a few of those. Like that. And there we go. There is our card with that beautiful pink foil. So if you have any questions about this hot foil, let me know. I will try and answer them or find the answer, but I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I need to spend some more time with it and make even more things. I really want to get out this fun set because I can see like Halloween with that, or these bricks are just so cool. This you could just use as a background, and then these you could stamp on something. I mean, I really want to get this one out and play with it. Okay, let me tell you, like I said, I have things piled everywhere over here. All right, let me tell you who won the cards from the last 2 weeks. So this card was the Natural Artistry, I think it's called, that we did. And look, it's the same paper. I didn't even notice that. That I did 2 weeks ago. And Betty is the winner of that card. And then this was the one I did last week with the something leaves. I don't remember, and it's not right here for me to look at. But that was the one I recorded for you last week, and this was a new or online exclusive, and this embossing folder, this tree ring embossing folder was too. And that is Marion won that one. So I will get those to them. All right, I think that's it for today. Be sure, if you're interested in this hot foil, don't wait in case it goes out of stock. Then you won't be able to get it until the end of the year. You will need to, I want to be sure that you understand this, you will need the Stampin' Up! Cut and Emboss machine to use to run it through to get that hot foil to transfer. It will not work on an old Big Shot. If you have an old Big Shot, it's just too wide. Okay, I think that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next week. Bye.